Hello, friends. I hope you're all enjoying the beautiful colors and crisp water, sometimes wet water, of fall. It's my favorite season, the season of pumpkin spice and stewardship campaigns. I love thinking of Pudge Delaney and the pumpkins and gourds she grew at her Broken Shovel Ranch. She invited us to pick freely from her fields, and we filled our car with pumpkins. Pudge was a living example of stewardship and generosity. You've heard about our church beginnings in 1907, the process we took to become the first open and affirming congregation in the Disciples denomination, and about the decision to sell our former church and build a new. Continuing our stroll through history, my topics are choosing a new name and moving into the new building. The Finley Street Christian Church congregation, as we were called then, dedicated much time and energy to discussing, praying, and advocating for a new name for the church. Much like the process of naming a new baby, it wasn't easy. A new building needs a new name, some said. Not so fast, said others, including me. Finley Street was my first church home, and the main church for many of our youth, who objected loudly, clearly, and with passion against a new name. We looked at the issue from many angles, trying to break through to an epiphany. We researched the origins of the current name and realized it simply reflected our location on Finley Street. We briefly considered Bayview Christian Church, where the new building would be, but decided against it. I remember liking the name Sophia. At one point, the elders were tasked with choosing a name from a list generated by members. They chose a Spirit of Wisdom and listed 10 points in the name's favor, noting the abbreviation would be SOW, as in sowing seeds. For some reason, the recommendation was not accepted. Finally, at a church retreat, a small group came up with Welcome Table. Reverend Michael Kenneman, a noted Disciples pastor living in Seattle at the time and attending church with us, was in that small group, as was I. I can only report that the name felt right to us, and in the end, it got the votes. A new name was birthed. During the construction period for the new church, we had to say goodbye to our retiring longtime pastor, Reverend Joan Dennehy. Typically, the retirement of a beloved pastor involves a grieving process for the congregation. We did not yet have an interim minister lined up, so the congregation would run the church for a while. Reverend Marvin Eckfeld told us, "You will get to know one another really well." He was right. As the wife of the church architect, the building project felt like a 10-year pregnancy for me. I enjoyed seeing any progress and eagerly awaited the finished product. My memories of the construction project are bookended by something funny and something sad. At the beginning, when the duplex on site was being demolished, Brent Long, a member of the property team, which had handled many unpleasant maintenance tasks, took his set of the duplex keys and threw them into the demolition site. Later, we experienced the tragedy of a worker falling from the roof and dying. Ian Deichler fell while working with his father, Randall. It was a high cost for the dream of our church, and we mourned. Moving day did finally arrive. Boxes came out of storage and donated items and furnishings were installed in the 3 new apartments. Plymouth Healing Communities came on board as our housing partner. We had our first service in the building on Pentecost. In the fall, we held an open house and were serenaded by Reverend Patronell Wright's Total Experience Choir. It was a celebration to behold. Welcome Table has been created by a century plus of stewardship, step by faithful step. board meetings, visioning discussions, dreaming, praying, pledges, drawings, loan documents, capital campaigns, lots of chocolate. The list goes on. Now we have a settled pastor, a new name and logo, a children's labyrinthine garden ministries, and 2 facility partners. We've hosted community events, weddings, baby showers, birthday parties, plays, concerts, seminars, and provided meeting space for recovery and meditation groups. Most recently, we started a food pantry. Personally, my husband Al and I are wrestling with whether or not to sell our home of 23 years and whether or how to join households with my aging mother. These are difficult decisions. It's scary not knowing what is ahead. But I've felt this way before, during a 10-year pregnancy, and a new church popped out. I trust God to work out the details. It's been a crazy ride lately, and it's hard to predict the challenges and opportunities of 2022. But I have faith that together we'll figure it out. We'll know when it feels right.